The amount of applications I've simply disregarded because I've clicked on the video application and I've seen the Loom video. Finding a remote high-ticket sales job has never been easier, and I really mean that. The world is only going in one direction, which is digital, with more and more businesses moving online and more companies being set up online every single week. If I take just one industry as an example, it has, the most lucrative opportunities for remote sales jobs right now, the online education space. This one industry is expected to grow to $250 billion market size in the next 5 years alone. That kind of growth, they're only going to need a hell of a lot more sales reps. But as you clicked on this video, you already know that, and you likely already know that there is an abundance of online sales jobs out there, and you've probably seen a lot already, and you might even have applied to some. But in this video, I'm not going to focus on finding the job opportunity specifically, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Upwork, Network, Neighbor. It doesn't really matter. If you look, you will find a lot. And I do really mean Neighbor. Alex Hormozi's top sales rep got a job opportunity by simply being his neighbor. And if you did want to find them, I've made other videos for that on my channel. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to land them once you have found them, because that's the bit no one really talks about, but today I'm gonna. The first thing I want to speak about is fake it till you make it doesn't work in sales. Don't even try to land a remote sales job until you know how to sell. It sounds super obvious, but it's the number one mistake I see most starter sales reps make. With sales being such a tangible skill, it's very obvious to see if someone has the sales ability, in their application, on their video applications, or simply on an interview conversing with, the sales manager. You can't fake the skill of sales. And the same applies if you, wanted to go and be a dentist. Like in that interview, if you didn't know the dentist terms, or you didn't actually know how to do a filling, you're not gonna get the job and you're just gonna look like a fool. And that's the same as sales. You shouldn't apply for a role unless you really truly know how to sell. And of course, in some instances, you might be able to brag on your application, maybe on the interview, but on calls and when you land that offer, you'll be stumped and you'll be off the team in no time. You simply won't be able to close effectively. You'll be below KPIs, you won't be making sales, and ultimately you won't be making money, because the one true thing you need in this space is just knowing how to sell. And you shouldn't do anything else until you know how to sell. Don't apply to a job, don't try and land an offer, don't do any of that until you really know how to sell. So once you do know how to sell, you then obviously want to apply to the roles. So one of the other biggest mistakes I see a lot of sales reps do is they don't tailor their applications. They're going in, they're copying the same job application again and again and again to loads of different offers in different niches, and they'll tailor that to the role. You need to do your research on the business, on the funnel they use, even on team members. As I said, so many sales reps will copy that application, send out to hundreds of different offers, and wonder why no one is hiring them. This simply does not work. You're not willing to put any effort into these applications, and if you're not willing to put any effort into the application, what are you going to be like when you actually land the role, when you're actually taking sales calls? Myself and many other business owners in the space will simply just disregard these applications without even watching them, because as I said, if you're putting no effort into the application, what message are you sending for how you be once you did land that role? So you do need to do your research, you do need to tailor your application for every single role you do. You need to make a new application, and you need to tailor that application to that specific role. And as simple as that might sound, it's such a small thing that many sales reps make the mistake of. The amount of applications I've simply disregarded because I've clicked on the video application and I've seen the Loom video is a month old, and I only posted the job opportunity 2 days ago. I'm not watching that Loom, I'm not reading the application, I'm deleting it. You're not even in the running for that role. The third point I want to make is owning your win experience. And this is one of the biggest misconceptions in the industry. You think that you need high-ticket closing experience in order to land a role. It's just simply not true. I've spoken to a lot of sales managers in the space, some of the biggest, and they don't think experience is as important as you do. Character and charisma are the most important. They want to see that you have good character. They want to see that you're coachable. They want to see that you've invested in improving and bettering yourself holistically and in sales. If you've got sales experience in other domains like corporate or door-to-door, leverage this. There's a lot of transferable skills. You do have sales experience. Just because it's not high ticket doesn't mean you can't sell, so don't go selling yourself short. Leverage this experience and package it up in the most appealing way that will benefit that business owner, and just own the experience you do have. Don't sugarcoat it, don't lie, that's going to get you nowhere. But of course, if you are new to the space and you don't have any real world sales experience, own this too. Just because you don't have any sales experience yet doesn't mean you can't sell. These applications and interview, your first sale, you have to sell yourself in the most positive light, regardless of actual sales experience. What makes you think you kill it in the role you're applying for? Have you spent hours practicing mock sales call, invested in any coaches and mentors, made any sacrifices to try and get into the space? And why do you even want the role that bad? Talk about all this and sell yourself to the business owner or the sales manager as best you can with the knowledge on sales, whether that be in the applications or interviews. You want to demonstrate and illustrate those sales skills you have learned. Just because you don't have experience doesn't mean you can't sell, providing you did step one learn to sell first. You do know how to sell, you just have to package it up in the most effective way. Make sure you're illustrating those skills on the interview, on the applications, and that's ultimately how you're going to get the role. Which, you know, is the next point. Illustrate those sales skills. And I'll say it again because it is so important that it deserves its own headline. By illustrating your sales skills, you will land a role. You know, a sales rep who is confident in their ability won't record a video application with low energy, mumbling, and looking like they just rolled out of bed. They're going to make sure they look the shit and they sound it with high energy, have to be applying, and they're going to convey that confidence and their own character. And the same can be said when you're on interviews. You know, show the business owner you are serious and show up as if it was a sales call. Really give your all into it. And another really big one that plays into showing your sales skills is the follow-up. And this is something that a lot of sales reps fall short on. You know, if you had a prospect that hadn't given you a yes or no answer, are you just going to wait until they reach out to you? You know, of course not. You're gonna follow up with them. You're gonna hit them up with messages. You're gonna be cold calling them. You know, you have to be treating their job applications the same. And I know sales managers who will sit on applications they want to interview or wait after the interview to see if they follow up before they offer them the job. Because follow-ups is such an important element of sales. Any good sales rep is shit hard at follow-up. And landing a good closing role is your biggest sale. And it's really the sale that will earn you the most commission. So why wouldn't you follow up? Why wouldn't you put your all? Why wouldn't you manage your job application pipeline like a sales CRM and really make sure you're giving it your all and you're following up with every job application you apply for? And think about it like this. If you landed a high ticket sales role that would earn you 10K a month, if you did meet KPIs within that company, by landing that role, you could have made yourself at least 120 grand a year. And you're telling me you're not going to follow up with that sale. You're not going to pass them. You're not going to make sure you actually get a yes or no answer, whether you landed an interview or you landed the role. It's 120 grand sale. Of course you are. Of course you should. But many sales reps just neglect this, and it's something they just simply don't do. And I'll emphasize the point again. Treat your job applications like a sales pipeline. Follow up them. Treat them as potential clients and closers. By applying this one thing, you could see a huge shift in your approach to getting hired. It could land you a lot more opportunities. So that's it. Short but sweet. Apply all this and you'll land yourself a high ticket sales job.